welcome to Women's Corner. My name is Ruth Blossom. We're thinking it's Friday. I have my co-host with me, Patricia. Good morning.
Good morning, Rose. My name is Patricia Orimo Gabriel. Thank God it's Friday.
Yes. Anyways, before we start the program properly, let's go on a commercial break. And after that commercial break, we will be right back. All right, a beautiful welcome again. Remember, you can join us on this program by actually going to our Facebook page and YouTube page is Galaxy Television. On YouTube, we have Galaxy TV News, and on Facebook, it's Galaxy Television. Yes, and of course, you can download Galaxy Television app from Google Play Store or Apple Play Store to watch this program live. Remember, Women's Corner is all about women. But first, before I introduce my guest, or before we even go for a tip, Patricia,
Yes,
how are you
welcome.
spending this weekend? Please don't give us all the details if you know you have
No.
so much.
No. I have a lot to do this weekend though, but I'm so super excited. It's Friday.
Yes.
Trust me.
Yes.
First of all, we're going to sleep, rest from the week stress,
Yeah.
and then we start, should I say it out yet?
No, don't say it. Because I don't know what you're about to say, but I feel like you shouldn't say it.
Don't be scared. But anyway, Ro and Blossom, let's start with the Pope. We have a new Pope.
Yes, we have a new Pope.
And
Congratulations.
he is an American, the first American to become the Pope.
Yes,
Exciting.
he's the first American to become a Pope.
Congratulations, Pope.
Congratulations. Okay, anyways. All right. Basically, we're going to have our Zoom guests join us pretty soon. But first, because we are talking about relationship and marriage today, well, the thing is, we're talking about the process, not even just the process, the real process of relationship before marriage. Now, a lot of people feel dating, then from dating, you're cutting, from cutting, that's why you enter your relationship. But now we're going to talk to an expert who's going to really tell us what is the real process of dating? How should we do it? When should we start? Because I've seen a lot of people that get married in just 2 months, 3 months, and they are even more happier than someone who has dated for a year,
5 years.
5 years, 6, because they know what they want and there's maturity about it. So we'll be talking a lot about that. But of course, before, like I said, before we go for the introduction proper of our guests, let's quickly go for a tip. And this tip is actually ways to avoid procrastination. I don't know how that relates.
Fantastic tip.
You love it, right?
Yes, because sometimes I do that too.
I think it's basically almost everybody.
Yeah, sometimes I do that.
Yeah, but some persons have been able to outgrow the process.
I don't think so, Blossom. Yes,
So
everybody does.
Everybody does.
Yes, everybody does at some point. Not all the time. Some people have been able to control it completely, but not 100%. Okay. And then some of us procrastinate like mad. You just be lying on the bed and say, "Oh, I want to go here," but you're on your bed.
Okay, what you're talking about, if that's the kind of procrastination you're talking about, trust me, I'll pick my bed over a lot of things. Maybe because I work Monday through Friday, so I'm like, I only have 2 days
to rest.
So I'm on my bed. If you really want me to get out, come get me. Anyways, we're not talking about ourselves. Let's quickly go for tips on how to avoid procrastination, because I'm telling you the fact, procrastination is a disease. Trust me, it could kill your dreams, your goal, your inspiration, your energy. You could even become lazy. So let's quickly check the tip and we'll right back. Of course, to introduce a guest and we'll start talking about the real process of relationship before marriage. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Yes, let's introduce our guest. Well, that tip was my co-host said, it's short though. And anyways, maybe sometimes we have 5 minutes, sometimes we have 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, just depends. Anyways, let's quickly introduce our guest. Her name is Elizabeth Oladipo. She is an entrepreneur. Excuse me. She's the CEO of All 7 Foods, a women advocate and empowerment advocate. She was actually the 2022 Dutch MFA One Young World Ambassador. She's also the member of the Youth Advisory Committee to Kingdom of Netherlands, and also a multiple award winner, one of the top 20 remarkable MSMEs in Nigeria. Can we have Elizabeth Oladipo on the screen? Hey, good morning, Elizabeth. How you doing?
I'm well. Good morning, Blossom.
Good It's good to have you on the show. I'm super excited about this topic, and I was so excited when I sent you the topic, and you're like, "Oh yay, I love this topic." So yes, we're just gonna dive right in because of our time. Okay, so my first question is, I don't know what to start saying. Was the process of relationship? Do you think dating, like when you meet someone and you start dating the person, do you think that is the first step of relationship? Or you're supposed to strike a chord of friendship first, be the person's friend, be close, or you can actually get that in dating, which is more like say, let's just start dating. And maybe from then we'll see if we can actually go into courting. What do you think?
I mean, I think it goes both. So for dating, I mean, if you get to meet someone, you can become friends. But I highly recommend being friends first to have clarity. I mean, there's clarity over vibes. You're able to see, what are the values of this person? What is this person all about? What do they aspire to be? What are their dreams and visions? Before going into the dating scene, because going into the dating scene, you're not going with a mind to just go in and out. You have a plan to lead to marriage, except that's not in the plan. Then you can now start talking about let's just date and just be friends. But if the end goal really is marriage, it's a lot important to have that friendship friendship sorted and started, because friendship would actually hold the marriage when it gets tough. It's friendship that will hold the pillar of the marriage when everything is shaky, right? So it's a lot important that we go into friendships first before we think of dating.
Hmm. Okay, friendship first to before going into dating, if you know it's gonna lead to marriage. So so are you saying that people, excuse me, are you saying that people who have actually dived into dating, which is another sort of a shift, like more like a relationship, do you think they could get it wrong if they don't strike a chord of friendship first before dating and they know they want to settle down, they want to get married? Do you think that?
Well, I do not think, they might get it wrong. I feel like,
Okay.
love at first sight is a thing. I see someone I really love and we get together at first sight, right? And we start dating. We can start learning about ourselves in that
Okay.
dating journey. There's a lot to do. There is, speaking to the person, understanding their mentors. Who are the people they look up to? Because you're dating a person for the purpose of marriage. You need to understand these things. So yes, it's really possible to build friendship while dating. You even get a deeper
Yeah.
understanding of this person, and you get to meet the family, you get to see the person's religion, you get to understand who this person is on the inside. Right? When I first said friendship before dating is because you are on a free playground. There is no pressure anywhere. But when you
Hmm.
start dating, there's this pressure to impress this person. There's this pressure to look cool in the face of this person. But if you're starting as friends, there's no pressure from anywhere. There's nobody
Anywhere.
disturbing you. You can see all the flaws, you can see all the reds and the green flags, and you're able to decide exactly what it is that you want.
Okay, Elizabeth, it's nice to have you this morning. Good morning again. Okay, so we're talking about the real
Thank
process of
you. Good
relationship
morning.
before marriage. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. So I like to ask this question, is a direct question. What exactly is the process of relationship before marriage? What will you count as, being through the process of relationship before getting married?
Okay, so for me, I think the first is understanding yourself, self awareness. You think about who am I before you start thinking about who are we. Because if you do not understand yourself properly and you get into something, you begin to see that there are a lot of red flags or there's a lot of trauma you
Mm-hmm.
need to deal with. So you need to first understand yourself critically. And the second should be
Mm-hmm.
friendship before romance. I think we talked about that, where you allow people to show their authentic selves before going into dating, where there's less pressure. And you have to
Mm-hmm.
also understand, do you have shared values? What's this person life's journey looking like? It's not like I want to have a PhD I don't want to be a full housewife. And then the person says,
Uh-huh.
I want to be a billionaire and I want you to be a full housewife. There's going to be a
Uh-huh.
conflict of interest when the marriage happens. So you need to understand values that you both share. And there also has to be a purpose. We're not just dating for fun. But if you are, I mean, it's not, I'm not judging, and then you also need to, there's also a need for communication and conflict resolution. How are you going to ensure that you don't get to get angry? You try to resolve issues. How are you going to ensure that you resolve conflict without it being all out on social media? How are you going to be
Mm-hmm.
sure that you have someone is accountable to, so that if matters comes to the worst, there's someone you can speak to that can speak to this person. There's a lot of things in that process. There's also the God factor, which is very important. You have to pray with this person. Is this person a kind of person that you see as a head of a home? Can this person
Mm-hmm.
truly, truly lead my home and guide my children in the path that I want? So if you're a Christian, you're looking at someone that is God fearing, someone that's not just God fearing in the word and sense that everybody sees God fearing as, but someone that truly believes God and respects, the union of family, that unit. So you want someone that can, care for your children and encourage them in the godly way. There's emotional and physical boundaries, there's family and external influence. In my hometown, they will say you are not marrying just the husband, you are marrying the entire family. So you say you're a Christian and you're getting married into a home that they are another religion, or maybe they are traditional worshippers. Is this something you want to do? You should understand the entire family. Do they have a past trauma? Is there a generational disease or a hereditary disease that you need to know about? These are questions that you would ask, and you have to be bold to ask the right questions, not just how are you? Have you eaten today? No, go to the hospital, do a genotype test, check your blood test. Do you have there's hepatitis test? There's a lot of things you want to do, and not just focus on the
Mm-hmm.
lovey part of it. Because at the end of the day, the love might not be able to stand. The friendship and the trust that both of you have built is what to sustain your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. Okay, so let's go. Let's go. I don't know why I'm always at the very beginning, because I feel like if the foundation is wrong, then every other thing will just go wrong. But if the foundation is right, then every other thing is right. Now I want to go back to dating. Now, while you're dating, is that the period where you have to confirm that your partner, yeah, I wanted to use spouse. Your partner is, like you said, if you really want to go for the religion, let's assume there are some other religion. I don't know why I'm even saying other religion. There are some persons, even as a Christian, they'll tell you, I don't like the church you're going to. I don't
Mm-hmm.
like people from,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like people. I'm talking about the same faith
Mm-hmm.
here, but they just say, I don't want this church. No, I don't, this is how they do. I
Yes.
don't want that. Now that's one difference, which some people, I've seen a lot of people are caught in relationship. First is, how can you, I know love is important and every other thing probably matches, but you just have a problem with the church. Do you understand? Now, how do you think you can walk through that challenge or that barrier? That's the first one. Then the second one is, okay, we'll get to the church part, which of course is the first question. Then the second question is, you are dating and you find out that somehow this person does not have a lead. When I mean lead, it could be in form of a mentor, it could be in form of a pastor, it could be in form of someone the person reveres, the person respect, the person always look up to, the person that, when you say, I will report you to this person, the person sits up. Do you understand? Now, when you find out that this person do not have that, is it enough ground for you to step back and say, okay, I'm not going to date this person anymore? Or is it a period where you tell the person, okay, see, I need you to have a mentor. You have to have a mentor. I could introduce you to people that, or who is that person? Do you think it's something that you can actually advise the person to start having a mentor at that period? Because I think to trust and to respect will take time. And that means your relationship will really have to take time to grow to that extent. Do you think you can help the person get a mentor? Do you think it's necessarily the person has a mentor or a pastor or somebody elderly that he or she respect? I think let's leave it for that two questions so that we don't muddle all the questions up together. So please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Awesome. I'll start with the first question. You have two different denominations, or you're of the same faith. Now, the thing here is communication. Basically, you have to be open to communicate and understand. Okay, do you play a key role in your church? Do you play a key role in any department at church? If this is very important, is it close to the house? Is it far from the house? These are discussions you like to have. For example, I am the lead media team leader at my church. My husband is just, he doesn't stress. So when we had to relocate, he understood that I had to be at this parish, right? But while working our way to move me to the parish closest to the house. So these are things that you discuss with your partner. These are things that you have to understand his own POV as well, or her POV, to say this is closer to the house to help reduce this stress, blah blah blah. I think the first question, communication, answers it. You have to ask the critical questions and not sugarcoat it. Critical questions. Can these people be your department? Can they do without you? Then move to the other church with your husband and be happy as a family. God has joined man and woman together to become one, not to become halves, right? So I think that answers that. Then for the second question, I feel personal. This is my personal opinion now. I feel that families or individuals should have mentors, right? But if peradventure the person does not have anybody that is accountable to, you need to understand the traits of this person, behavioral traits, psychological traits. How is this person, behaving to people? How does he treat people? From there, you're able to pick out things to say this person needs a mentor. And then you can even bring it from the soft spots, right? Like, okay, you're doing amazing at your work. You have someone you look up to at work. The person might not have a physical mentor. The person might have someone to look up to in terms of maybe he's looking up to Mark Zuckerberg or he's looking up to Whiskey or David. Who are the kinds of people that he listens and look up to in terms of advice and all those things? You will get a hint one way or the other. And then you're able to now tell the person that, moving forward, since we're going into marriage, we should look at working on this. I mean, it's not going to be an easy ride. It's simple to say. It's very easy to talk about all of these, but really implementing them is where the key work is. So I think it's important for them to have a mentor, but if they do not, you should track who, their behavior, psychologically, mentally, all of that to see the kind of person they are.
Okay. All right. Should we go on a break first? No,
yes, I was just going to say that because I have a question.
Okay. So, should we could go for the break?
Let's go for the break.
Okay, let's go for the break.
She has to crack her brain for the question.
All right, Elizabeth. So we're still having you, definitely. We're still talking to you. We're still listening to you because we need to get the full detail of the real process from in every relationship before marriage. So, but before that, we will just go for a short break, and of course, after the short break, we'll come back to ask more questions about the real process. For relationship or of relationship before marriage. So this tip is actually a dating tip. So this is a tip for people who do not know how to date. You're wondering, how do I date a man or how do I date a woman?
I need to listen.
You need to listen. So yes, for those who do not know you don't know the proper process, you don't know how to go about it, you probably don't even know what to say or what questions to ask. Don't worry, I'll bring more tips on dating pretty soon, but just listen to this one. I think it's about 2 minutes, quite short too. So let's quickly listen to this tip and we'll be right back to the studio to continue with Elizabeth. And of course, with my co-host, we'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. You're watching Women's Corner. Yes, we were talking about the real process of relationship before marriage, and we have, of course, my co-host Susan Patricia, and we have our guest Elizabeth joining us. So I'm just gonna ask, can we have Elizabeth back on the screen first? Let me see her smiles. Can we have Elizabeth? Oh, you see, I said I wanted to see her smile,
and she actually smiled.
Okay, so all right. So let's talk about meeting the parents. When is the right time to involve family in your relationship? Because trust me, a lot of persons have involved themselves into the spouse's family or involved the other person into their family, and trust me, it was a very big regret. To be honest, I don't think I've had anybody I introduced to my family, even as a friend, and I regret now. I don't think so. I have amazing people around me, but there are some persons that will like, how had I known? I would not have even shown him to my parents, because some persons, trust me, are the worst. So when is that time? Because I feel I feel parents are like the ultimate for every person. Do you understand? I feel for you to take someone to your parent, it means you are ready. It means, yes, this is I want them to know that this is who I'm going out with. And if I'm having to spend the night out, this is the person I am with. I am responsible and accountable to this person. Do you understand? And sometimes I feel like maybe the spouse in question, it could be a male, it could be a female. At this point, some of them do not even understand the role of a parent. Some, if they ask you how many ladies now have gone to different men family homes and they've been introduced, and at the end of the day they didn't get married, not because the guy did not want to settle down, but because she cheated or went ahead with another man. And same thing with a guy. They will go to a woman's house in the name of I'm gonna be her husband. And they know deep seated in their hearts that they will not get married to this girl. I don't know how some people throw their conscience away. But anyway, so when is the right time for you to bring your spouse to your parents? When?
Blossom, this is a very big question because I don't think there is a particular right time. Right? At first, I would say when you're ready and you truly, truly are ready to get into marriage, you discussed and gone past the stage of checking genotype, knowing your friends, understanding yourself, then introduce that person. But on the other side, in terms of security in our current Nigeria, as you are stepping out, be informing your parents that this is the person I'm going out to meet, this is where I am going to be, just for somebody to have, information, valid real-time information of your whereabouts. But in terms of like the discussion we are having, when you have gone past the stage of confirming genotype, so that you're not just switching people up and down on mom and dad, don't be happy, right? So when you have confirmed that this is the person you want to be with, you check that you're compatible medically, and your faith aligns, your values aligns, you have the same vision, your two hearts can work together, you can be friends, or you are friends already. You can then introduce them to your parents and say, mom, dad, this is the person that my heart is drumming for, and build from there.
I love that. There's another thing that Elizabeth said that was about mental, maybe whiskey. How would whiskey
Davido
wrong? If you have someone you want to settle down with and it's whiskey, I'm not saying they're a bad person, but how would you use person like that as a man?
Some people will.
You look up to them, but
why?
not being
Why can't they be mental?
We're talking about people that want to enter marriage. We're not talking about music career. If you want to have a musical career, fine. You want to have a
so those people don't get married. No.
What are you saying? This is mess corner. Let's preach the right value. Excuse me. Why? Why would you? No, come on.
Risky.
No. Just the way she said something again. I'm not saying they are bad persons. I'm saying they are good people when it comes to maybe having a music, like career in music. You want to have a fashion sense. Oh, it's great. You can have such persons. But you're talking about marriage. Well.
Okay.
There has to be something.
Let's leave it at that. Can we have Elizabeth
Yes,
back?
can we have Elizabeth back?
Okay. Elizabeth, can we have her back? Okay. Your smiles again. Just like Blossom said it. Okay. All right. So this question has had different opinions from different people. I want to know what your opinion is about this question. Okay. Sex before marriage. What's your opinion for sex before marriage? Some people like, let me test what I want to go have there when we're married. Some people are of the opinion that, if you don't do it, you don't even know if the man can perform, and all that. Don't let me be too, so, and some people have the opinion of no sex before marriage. What's your own opinion?
He puts me on the spot right now.
Oh, God.
So, based on my upbringing, I would say no sex before marriage. That's what I would say. But in Nigeria today, I don't know what I would say. I listened to a video from Pastor Paul, and he was saying, someone would say, I want to marry a virgin and all of that. But is the person you're getting married to also a virgin? Are you meeting yourselves for the first time? Or has this person done all the whole exploration and then all of that? So it's a personal choice. It's a personal opinion. So for me, I would say sex before marriage. That's what my opinion is on
Sex
this
before
issue.
marriage. Did she say sex before marriage?
Did,
Did you say sex before marriage?
Oh, I did meant to say no sex before marriage.
Okay, you know why? Do
I
you know
wanted to, I
why?
wanted to say she just made everybody like some of the Gen Zs basically. She just made
Okay,
them happy.
I
you know
raised I
why
raised
I
the
decided
tension.
to ask this question? I have a friend, although a young friend, who told me something some few weeks back, and she said to me, she disvirgined her husband. Okay, so right now it's not just men disvirgin women,
Mm.
women also disvirgin men. So she disvirgined her husband, and that was after marriage, okay, because the husband's church didn't want him to have anything before marriage. And so she disvirgined him after marriage. And she's not happy about the performance. She's been complaining to me. If she had come to complain to you, what will you tell her? Because I really don't have an answer for her. So I'm trying to get an answer from you now, Elizabeth. What would you have told her if she had come to talk
Okay.
to you about it?
If she complains based on her experience, I mean, now we have sex therapists, right, that help people in the other room. So if you have issues like this, they have ways. They have counselors. They'll give you guidance on how to go about it. They also have
Mm.
tools. They have books. I mean, there was a time I got a lot of them because yes, my own personal experience. I'm 7 years in marriage today. It was at a point I was like, what's going on? So I had to speak to a sex therapist, and she provided me with guidance and then told me get this and this and do this and this. I can't tell you the results on air, but yeah, so I would just advise
We'd
her
like
to
to hear the
get a
results
sex
from you.
therapist and speak to them. Yes.
Hmm. Okay, thank you for the advice. Blossom.
Okay, thank you very much for the advice. I think I will just ask one more question before we go. Now we're talking about sex. We're talking about uh, dating, church, the process of courtship, and all of that. Amazing. Now, my deeper question is from the angle of when you now know you're ready to settle down. You understand? You now feel like, okay, this is the person I want to get married to. Now, obviously, we know that sometimes a relationship is not all very rosy. You have some challenges, some back and forth. It's as though, like, didn't I see all of these things, before now? Do you understand? You start finding out that at some point, it's as though you guys have always a loggerhead, a loggerhead. And trust me, there's always a time and season, even in relationship, just as you have in marriage. Because for me, I feel like in marriage, you just have about 4 seasons. But I feel like in relationship, you have plenty seasons because there's a season where you're seeing somebody else and you're giving attention to somebody else, then your brain resets. I'm like, no, I have to stay faithful to this guy. This guy has been amazing. And you're back again, it's just different things. Now, when it gets to that point whereby you find out like maybe for like a month or 2 months, and this is the person you want to settle down with, but you find out that you guys keep having a clash. And this clash is probably not even the serious things. It's the little things that should not matter. But this person is good for you. What at this point now, what would you advise both of them to do? Because I've seen people who have gotten to this crossroad and they just decide to separate and go their different ways. And of course, sometimes some of them find a way to come back together and they become way stronger. But now, for those who are probably at this crossroad right now and they feel like, see, you see this dating thing, I'm not even interested. The guy messed up, the girl messed up, and all of that. What do you think they should do? Because trust me, if you say they should talk to each other, it's not going to work because they will end up arguing again. And sometimes, they'll keep meeting their mentor. Even mentor will be tired of mentoring. Do you understand? So what do you think? What do you think they can do at this point? And why I'm asking is because a lot of therapists had suggested that maybe they should be apart for a little bit. It's not a breakup. Give themselves space. This one goes this way, the other one goes the other way, maybe a week or two, or maybe even a month, but just keep chatting. No serious communication, just checking up, knowing the person is okay. The sweet words, if they come, do you think that should be the best way they can actually go about it to, surpass that period of time they're having so much clashes?
I mean, if the therapist has suggested that, that would be a professional point of view and advice. But from my POV, I think if they are locked in already and they're really serious that they want to get together, they should go for premarital counseling. You know, this will help them ask those deep questions and understand, because talking to themselves will bring more issues, more no, I'm right, no, you're wrong, and all of that. Going for premarital counseling would enable them see outside the box, not a mentor now. Because the mentor knows the both of
Okay.
you. The mentor can say, I've known this one for 7 years, I've known this one for 50 years, can be
Yeah.
sometimes judgmental, sometimes not, right? But for
Hmm.
premarital counseling, you don't even know this person. The person assesses the marriage from the outside and say, this and this is what I think you guys can do. And they can work on it. But then again, if you are locked in and you think the conclusion now is this person is the one for you, but you keep having these clashes back to back to back, are you sure this person is really the one for you? I mean, just
Hmm.
asking, just saying. But yes, I think I would
Hmm.
advise that they go for premarital counseling, yes, to sort that part out.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Very quickly, ask your question.
Very quickly, Elizabeth. Okay. My question is it very necessary if you want to get married, you find your partner, and then you feel, okay, this is the right person for me, but you want to go meet, you know, pastors or I don't know, seers, prophets, prophetess to pray and find out if the person is the right person? Do you think that is very necessary?
That's an archaic thinking in Nigeria that still happens. And I don't think it's necessary. Nigerians Nigerians are very wonderful people, and I think it's a global thing. In fact, in some of the Z World groups, you see them checking the stars and the moon of the husband or the wife and say they are compatible. But I do not think that is a necessary thing to do. I don't think that's a necessary thing to do. There are other important things that can be done, like checking the background of the family, their medical history, and other things than checking the moon and the stars.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Hmm.
Elizabeth
Thank
Blossom.
you very much for that. That was an amazing, amazing input. I really did enjoy the show. Trust me. And yes, it was always, it's always fun, and it's still fun having you on this session. I can't ask any more questions because our time is up. Trust me, when it comes to relationship, marriage, dating, courtship, the questions are endless. In fact, because there are a lot of instances that one would bring by book and ask questions and request for answers. That is this actually very normal? Okay, okay. I don't know. I can't even ask any more questions. Let me just say thank you and just allow you to go because I feel like asking
A
one more.
lot of
But
questions.
thank you so much,
For having
Elizabeth,
me
for
too.
being on the show.
Thank
It's
you.
been an amazing, interesting, all smiles session with you. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed the show with us.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, that's it from Elizabeth. I really love that. I was gonna say something before. With everything she has said, is relationship can be very beautiful, but it's just that it's so sad how relationship has turned into
Hmm.
in Nigeria. You see some persons, being married and still having side chicks. You see some persons being in a relationship and having side chick. How now? I don't understand.
You know what they say? The men will tell you, "Oh, I
Is in the
can't, I
end.
can't keep eating egusi soup. I
Okay,
have to try the ogbono soup, the
okay,
vegetable soup, and
okay.
all of that."
And then if that's the point, then why are they angry when they find out that their first child, second child, third child is
It's
not
not
from
from
them?
them.
You like to test,
Oh no,
and now
Blossom, I never knew that you're this
yeah,
in
because
relationship. So you have to be a relationship expert.
no, because you see some persons, they are planning to propose, they're preparing for their wedding, but they have a side chick and they get married and stick to the woman. And you think she did not see all of those things? She just said to keep quiet. She wants to enter that marriage with you. And
Hmm.
when you now enter, you find out at the age of 23, find out that all your children are not yours. My darling, you
Sad.
shouldn't be surprised
Sad.
because
Very
I
sad.
feel like so. And women are, I don't know, I don't want to say vengeful, but if they want to give it back to you, they will serve it when cold, when you never
And they're
expected.
very secretive.
Very secretive. So you have to be very careful. And why I was saying this is because when you have a woman, stick to your woman. Stop looking outside because you're going to see someone who's prettier, who is better, even by character in every way. But there's one thing that strikes you about her, and that is what you should keep looking at and keep loving her for. Same thing as a woman too. Same thing applies to the man. Anyways, Patricia, wrap up. Let's go.
Oh, it's been an amazing time, Blossom. And like again, thank God it's Friday. Okay, so.
Well, we've come to the end of the show. We'll be joining you pretty soon again on this show. Not on the show, basically on Galaxy TV. We'll be joining you for Thank God It's Friday edition of The Buzz by 12:05. So yes, you should join us. We'll see you soon. And if you've missed this episode, we talked about the real process of relationship before marriage. You can go to a YouTube or Facebook channel at Galaxy TV News for YouTube, and on Facebook is Galaxy Television. Thank you so much for watching. We love you all. Have a beautiful weekend for yourself. My name is Truth Blossom. Bye for now.